This first part is all you.
The call meeting is called to order. This is a special call meeting with one item on the agenda, and that is for us to review the board's self-evaluation. The board policy requires that we have a single item on the agenda when we do the self-evaluation, and out of the self-evaluation will come goals that we'll set at the annual retreat after we gain our seventh board member later this year. But this time I'll turn it over to Mr. Hull to give us a report on the numbers that we did for the self-evaluation. And then if you have any questions on that, we'll entertain the questions. If not, it will be a brief call meeting before we go into the work session.
Okay, well, I have the typical little data sheet that I do, so I will pass those around. You have all the other copies. I think I just got 7. Okay, well, anyway, that's all we need. So you can see the results, what the board members did there, and then in each category there are averages. And this year I think everybody filled out everything. Ms. Rouse sprinkled hers with exclamation points. You don't get better scores for that, but anyway, that was well done. So you can look down through here just looking at the aggregate at the ones that were the strengths, and I'm sorry I didn't bring just a blank sheet, but I can run through these for you. I guess under the superintendent category, being a positive influence for giving the superintendent sufficient time and was the strongest point. Everybody rated 5.0. Under the relationship with the community category, the working to do what's in the best interest of each and every student was the highest. Under meetings, and that was I guess one of the longer categories. Exercising good listening skills was a highly evaluated one at 5.0, and members conducting themselves in a business-like manner also was rated at 5.0. Probably looks like the lowest two that both averaged out at 4.0 were in the instructional program, being informed about student achievement and soliciting information from the community pertaining to instructional program needs. And when I say those were the lowest, they're certainly not low. They both averaged at 4, which is next to the highest. And I won't go through each one of those, but you can sort of take those and study them for yourselves. And then the overall composite average, I always do down at the bottom, is 4.70. So all very good. Wish my report cards had looked so good back in the day. Anybody have any questions about that? Of course,
Pat, I don't have any questions, but can I elaborate just a little bit?
you certainly can and may elaborate on it.
I'm thrilled, absolutely thrilled to serve on this board. And I think the scores, of course, none of us chatted with each other about the scores, so they're individual scores, but we're all basically in the same place and are off one. So I think we're all seeing it, what we're doing the same way. As a board, and I know this past year, the only year that I've had the opportunity to serve, has been a crazy year, with the pandemic and everything else that we've had to deal with. And I won't ask that you share where my exclamation points were, but my exclamation points, some of them were, I think we as a board need to remember what we are elected to do. We're not elected to run the school system. We're not elected to hire people. We're not elected to do those things. We're elected to set policy and be physically, make sure that the system is physically stable, those kinds of things. So that's where my exclamation points were, in that I hope as a board that we can grow even stronger than we already are. And at a 4.70, we're a pretty daggone good, strong board. And as several people on this board have said many times, we differ. We differ in our personalities, we differ professionally, we differ in our, in how we feel about things. But as a board, we all want what's best for our kids. And bottom line is, we all know that, and I think any one of us could reach across the table and shake on that no matter what we were disagreeing on. I hope going forward that I can learn more about how I can help Ms. Rafalowski improve instruction with our kids, and what can I do to support her as she supports the supervisors, who in turn support the principals, who in turn support the teachers, who in turn we get the results with the students. So I just wanted to say, having been on the other side, I just appreciate the fact that this board rates themselves a 4.70, even though we do disagree. But I myself want to challenge myself to work harder at being a better board member next year than I was this past year, and to support Ms. Rafalowski in any way that I can going forward, as long as she's helping our kids to improve. Thank you.
And as I said earlier, we'll use these scores here to develop some goals at our annual retreat. And if you look at this, I think the fiscal category, item F, is probably one of our lower ones. And that's an area, as we start to work on the budget before long, that I think it would help us all to concentrate on that part of it. And even though it's low, we're still high in that area.
Well, I'll follow up on Ms. Rouse's statement, and I've said this before, but probably all board members have come and gone since I said it. But I've been around. Sometimes I look at the pictures back there, and all the superintendents, and I've been the board attorney through a majority of those superintendents, which is kind of, I can't believe it, I'm not that old, but hey, that is true. I started in with Paul Nelson. And so I've seen a lot of board members, and in the earlier days, they didn't have that kind of discussion back and forth. Don't you think so, Evelyn? It was...
You act like I've been around as long as you have.
Well, I don't know why I thought that. I'm getting senile, I guess.
That's okay, I'll forgive you, but yes, I'm just teasing with you.
But it used to, that used to happen, and came along and, you know, encouraged people to speak up, and I've encouraged various board members to bring their questions, and so I think that's a good thing, and I think that's improved over the years. And the other thing, I mean, we've opened 2 new schools, just back to back here in the last couple of years, and gone through COVID, and so there probably has never been a year with as much stress and difficulty and as these 2 years, I guess. And you know, I from my perspective, the opening of West Ridge and what everybody did, and certainly Ms. Rafalowski and her staff, it's just astonishing to me. I'm just amazed at how well that went. You know, I tell people, my first visit out there, it was a farm with a mobile home on it, and you know, so I got to see it all the way from minute one on up to it opening, and it's just it just sort of takes my breath away. I can't just, it's hard to believe. So congratulations to all of y'all. That's fantastic, and what we've done through COVID is fantastic. So, you know, 4.7, that's a good score.
We'll take it. Any other questions or comments? If not, I entertain a motion to adjourn this call meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second, so we are adjourned, and we'll move straight into the,
I need 1 minute.
okay. We'll start the work session in about 10 minutes.
You are going to handle setting the time.
Yes.
Are you going to do that during the work session?
Amber.